Okay, I'm recording this on 5/30/2025. On 5/29/2025, Homeland Security investigations, that was a Thursday, did two massive busts across the country. One was in Florida, one was in LA area. The bust in Florida, which will be the first news clip that you see, because I want you to hear some of these folks. They busted a construction site. About 100 people, according to the news that I have read. Palm Beach Post, ICE in Tallahassee, over 100 detained in one of Florida's largest raids. What we know, they this was a construction site that, Florida FSU student housing. So it's government contract in a town. Now they're talking about. You're going to hear this one. Oh, these people are working. Tallahassee has a unemployment rate of 7.8. How much you want to bet that there are people that are unemployed right now in Tallahassee that would have loved to have had these jobs? Seriously, I looked at the numbers. This is no joke. This is on the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Unemployment. Um, well, there are two different things here, but the first one is just unemployment. The other one is unemployment rate. November 2024, 7.8. December 2024, 6.8. January 2025, 7.9. February, 7.9. March 7.8. And April 2025, 7.4. Unemployment rate 3.7, 3.3, 3.7, 3.8, 3.7, and 3.5. I'm not going you should understand that. Most Americans understand that. So basically, these are jobs that Americans could have been having, but instead they were going to 100 illegals. And after this clip, I'm going to cover the next thing that was found. So let's get this clip done. Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
I'm Ashley Engel here in the College Town neighborhood where federal agents have taken over this construction site shown behind me. From what it appears, more than half of the crew was taken into custody. ICE tells us it's part of a broader investigation, but isn't sharing more details. Crews working on a student housing construction project are in custody, taken away in a bus. In a statement, Hedrick Brothers Construction said, quote, "We have been made aware that the authorities have taken control of the site. Hedrick Brothers Construction will fully cooperate with all elements of the investigation. The construction company is now clouded in uncertainty. Expected to be completed by fall 2026, the company is evaluating the impact of losing much of its workforce. We asked ICE the exact number of those arrested, but the information hasn't been released." In a statement to ABC 27, an ICE spokesperson said, quote, "U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Homeland Security investigation served multiple search warrants as part of an ongoing investigation in the Tallahassee region."
Just like you!
Family members of those detained watched as their loved ones were handcuffed. Bystanders had mixed emotions.
I'm astonished, I'm surprised, but also not surprised. They have families. They have pets.
Larissa Klarakis says she works next to the construction site and says it didn't take long to realize something was going on.
Saw some lights and I came out and there were a lot of cars, but a lot more showed up.
ICE tells us more details will come as the investigation continues. We'll be sure to keep you updated. In College Town, I'm Ashley Engel, ABC 27.
Okay, you saw all that. And like I said, there people are wanting, well, these people have jobs. Well, here's the thing. One, they're probably sending money home. Two, if they're illegal, then that means that this company had hired them illegally. A whole bunch of laws are getting broken in this situation. This next one, you're going to enjoy the news clip I have for this because this doesn't even cover everything. Okay. This next bust, one in LA, was a transnational ring. Now, they only have 18 defendants named in the complaints. Uh, some of these are people that came here from Armenia that, they're part of a massive gang and they got naturalized, which begs to wonder why would these people be allowed to be naturalized? Now, I know some people are going to say it's because of skin color, but you would think that this would have been found out that they're part of these gangs. But from the government itself, they stole about $30 million, 25 to $30 million. Uh, you're going to hear in the clip how they were stealing from Amazon. This was no joke. These people are stealing from you as a taxpayer and you as a customer of Amazon. One of them, Bahi Margarian, aka William McGrayan of Tujunga, who allegedly orchestrated a scheme to defraud numerous banks and the Small Business Administration's Preferred Lender Program, a program designed to help small businesses that otherwise might not obtain financing. McGrayan allegedly directed owners of sham corporations to open bank accounts, make false statements, and concoct documents, including phony resumes and financial statements, to support loan applications to buy other sham corporations. McGrayan allegedly paid for phony tax returns that falsely reported millions in revenue and tens of thousands in tax due and owing. McGrayan, whose alleged criminal activity lasted from 2018 to January 2025, then directed the laundering of millions in fraud proceeds through various banks. They've got a few others. They're breaking down how some of this, the loans and the COVID and all of this, but let's let you see this news clip. It's going to stun you.
And Fox News has embedded with Homeland Security as they busted a massive transnational fraud ring here in LA County that has reportedly stolen millions from taxpayers. Here's Fox's Matt Finn with his exclusive report.
This is the police. We have a warrant. Come out with your hands up.
Fox News exclusively capturing Homeland Security's sunrise bust of this Armenian-born man at his LA area home. The suspect, who uses the alias William McGrayan, surrenders with his hands over his head. Investigators say McGrayan is the brains of a transnational crime ring that stole $30 million in COVID relief and small business loans meant to help tax-paying Americans.
If you're engaged in fraud, if you're taking money from the government that doesn't belong to you, your door could be the next one that we're hitting.
According to court documents, an informant describes McGrayan as unhinged, claiming he talked about his ties to gangs in Armenia and threatened one person with a gun and a baseball bat. In the multi-agency sting led by DHS, 14 people were taken into custody.
The suspects are simultaneously arrested across town so they can't tip one another off, and then they're brought to this special processing center to be booked.
The suspects are charged with conspiracy, wire and bank fraud, and money laundering. Investigators say multiple shell companies were created using phony documents. Some of the money was spent on homes and luxury goods. The rest was wired to Armenia, making it harder for the U.S. to trace.
These fraudsters applied for $47 million in federal funds. They got away with about $30 million. Most were born in Armenia but have become naturalized here in the U.S. At least one faces deportation. In Los Angeles, Matt Finn, Fox News.
And Matt Finn joins us here now. Good to have you here. Thanks so much for being here. So what's it like being embedded, this sort of overnight raid?
Well, Alex, you and I experienced a lot of adrenaline rushes on the job, and this was no exception. There was actually 2 back-to-back raids. There was one last week, one this week, both at or before sunrise. And we got into the armored vehicle, the Bearcat, which basically looks like a small tank. You know, we have our armored vests on, and, you know, prepare for anything. You know, these agents brace us that some of these guys can fire back, they can barricade themselves. You pull up to this house, they throw out, you know, a smoke grenade, which, by the way, serves as their knock on the door, so that legally establishes their presence. They get on the loudspeaker, shout the guy's name, you know, they identify the address, tell them to come out of the house, and you're just sitting back waiting for anything to happen. Fortunately, in both of the cases that we tagged along, these guys surrendered. One was in the Calabasas area, the other near Burbank. The first time the guy came out shoeless, shirtless, you know, surrendered. They put some cuffs on him and booked him.
So just throwing out that grenade, that's the equivalent of knocking on the door? That's not the kind of the knock on the door anybody wants, yeah.
Yeah, and fun fact, well, fun call it that, but one of the Bobcats we were in also was a part of the Diddy raid here in Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so this problem, this Armenian transnational thing, I mean, is this just sort of the tip of the iceberg? How big a problem do they think this is?
You know, in talking with Homeland Security and our U.S. attorney here, they are sending out the message that they are prioritizing these transnational gangs. They want to go after people who are taking advantage of our neighborhoods here in Southern California. So, you know, I'm not privy to all the inside information, but Homeland Security has told me that we can expect to see more of these type of raids.
Yeah, I mean, because we hear about the idea of going off after fraud and waste and abuse, but this seems like some real big fraud, waste, and abuse here.
Yeah, Alex, the guy that we were that we tagged along with for the arrest out near Calabasas allegedly stole $83 million from Amazon. So if your Amazon package didn't show up or your mom's didn't, that might be one reason why. But they are literally spitting in the face of our American commerce. You know, and a lot of these people, they're not mom and pop border crossers are looking for a job. These are hardened criminals who are taking advantage of the American system.
And we do see that they're sending a message here. I mean, Bill Asaley, the new U.S. attorney, is very media savvy. He was very media savvy before he joined the Trump administration, which is probably part of the reason that he got invited to join the Trump administration. And it seems like this is part of the strategy to show this on camera.
Yeah, and rather quickly, you know, he just took the job, I think, a couple months ago now, and already we have these 2 back-to-back raids, and he'll tell you, and he said in our report that, hey, if you are committing fraud, if you're taking advantage of the government, your door may be the next one that we knock on.
Yeah, and we could see you there with him. Matt Finn, great job last week. Great job today, and good to see you here on the Fox 11 News at 6. Love seeing you in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to thank Homeland Security, investigations, ICE, all the law enforcement that were taking down these criminals. 2 different types of crimes going on, but all of it good. One was directly affecting people's ability to work, aka they were taking jobs from Americans. The other is just nasty. Oh my Lord. Millions upon millions of American taxpayer dollars taken. And then, on top of that, they were stealing Amazon packages to the tune of $83 million. I mean, I wish you could make this up. I really do. But this is becoming a common story. I want to thank these members of law enforcement that found these people and busted them. This needs to end. End of story. This needs to end. And I'm glad that somebody's stopping it. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.